The lecture hall of the Galactic Xenobiology Institute hummed with the soft translations of 100 different species. Eliana sat in the back row, her human frame dwarfed by the towering Krillian next to her, whose crystalline exoskeleton refracted the holographic projections into dancing rainbows across the curved walls. Professor Thexlar, a venerable Chuvari with 4 eye stalks and skin that rippled like mercury, activated the next slide. A creature materialized in the center of the amphitheater, massive, 4-legged, with fur the color of midnight and fangs that could pierce battle armor. The Varashan Shadow Wolf, Thexlar announced, their voice a melodious trill that the translators rendered into standard. Native to Vorash Prime. Apex Predator. Extreme territorial aggression. Pack hierarchy maintained through lethal combat. Intelligence level, 7.3. Classification, utterly untamable. Murmurs rippled through the assembled students. Several Delphians clicked their mandibles in what Eliana had learned was their expression of academic fascination. No species in recorded galactic history has successfully domesticated an organism with these psychological parameters, Thexlar continued. The combination of predatory instinct, pack dynamics, and hostile territoriality creates an insurmountable barrier to. A hand rose in the back row to Thexlar's eye stalk swiveled. Yes? The human in Section 12. We call those pets, Santiago said, his voice carrying across the hall with that peculiar human confidence that still unsettled many of the other students. On Earth, I mean. We've had them for about 30,000 years. The lecture hall fell silent. Even the atmospheric processors seemed to pause. Eliana pinched the bridge of her nose. She'd warned Santiago about this. Don't draw attention. Don't make humans seem weird. Just blend in and graduate. I beg your pardon. Thexlar's skin had shifted to a pale ochre. Confusion, Eliana had learned. Santiago stood, his tablet already pulling up images. Yeah, we call them dogs. Well, technically they're descended from wolves, which were exactly like your shadow wolf thing. Apex predators, pack hierarchy, territorial, the whole package. We started domesticating them during the last ice age. Now there's about 900 million of them living with us. The holographic shadow wolf rotated slowly as Santiago's images populated the shared network. Suddenly, the fearsome predator was surrounded by pictures of golden retrievers catching frisbees, border collies herding sheep, and a particularly fluffy Samoyed wearing a birthday hat that a Delphian in the third row released a high-pitched whistle of distress. This cannot be accurate, Thexlar said, their color deepening to amber. The psychological profile alone would make cohabitation impossible. The human dwelling spaces would become territories to be defended with lethal force. Oh, they are territorial, Santiago agreed cheerfully. That's why we use them for security. But they recognize us as pack leaders. Well, most of the time. Training helps. Training. Thexlar's stalks curved inward, the Chuvari equivalent of narrowed eyes. You condition apex predators through behavioral modification, mostly positive reinforcement. Treats, praise, belly rubs. Santiago shrugged. They're pretty food-motivated. Eliana watched the professor's color cycle through several shades she'd never seen before. The Krillian beside her had gone completely still, which was never a good sign. Perhaps, Thexlar said slowly, this is an aberration. A single species, oh no, Eliana heard herself say. Both she and Santiago were already doomed to be the weird humans in class. Might as well commit. She pulled up her own files. We also domesticated cats. Small ambush predators. Solitary hunters. Extremely independent psychology. They domesticated themselves, actually, but we've lived with them for about 10,000 years. The image is populated. Cats sleeping in sunbeams. Cats knocking things off tables. A tabby cuddling a human infant. And horses, Santiago added. Prey animals with flight instinct and enough muscle to kill us with a single kick. We ride them for fun. Cattle. Pigs. Chickens. Rabbits. Ferrets. Eliana was scrolling through her database now. We domesticated wolves' primary prey species just so the wolves would have something to herd. Snakes, Santiago offered. Venomous ones sometimes. Spiders. Some people keep spiders. Oh, and there's this guy in my hometown who trained a bear to ride a bicycle. The lecture hall had descended into chaos. A Throxian in the front row had fainted, their gaseous form condensing into an unconscious puddle. The Delphians were clicking so rapidly it sounded like rainfall. And Thexlar had cycled through to a color Eliana was fairly certain indicated a complete cognitive shutdown. But the professor's voice emerged strangled. The evolutionary psychology, the resource competition, the territorial aggression. How do you survive the bonding period? Oh, we die sometimes, Santiago said casually. Mostly when we're stupid about it. But we figured out that if you raise them young and show them consistent affection and boundaries, they usually bond pretty hard. Dogs especially. They love us more than they love other dogs, which is kind of wild when you think about it. My dog saved my life once, Eliana added. I was 7 and wandered too close to a cliff edge during a hike. He grabbed my jacket and pulled me back. Wouldn't let go until my parents came. See, that's the thing, Santiago said, warming to his subject. We didn't just domesticate them. It was mutual. They changed us too. Some researchers think dogs helped us develop better social cognition. Coevolution. We made them friendlier, they made us better at interspecies cooperation. Thexlar had gone transparent. Total overwhelm. You're telling me that humans established mutualistic relationships with organisms that should, by all psychological models, view you as either prey or competition? I mean, when you put it that way, it sounds weird, Santiago admitted. But yeah, and now they're family. We love them. They love us. It works. Acrylian student 3 rows down spoke up, their voice chiming through their translator. What's the mortality rate for the humans who attempt this bonding? For dogs? Pretty much 0 now, Eliana said. We've been doing it so long that both species have adapted. Modern dogs are basically optimized for human companionship. There are more dogs on Earth than wolves ever existed, Santiago added. It's probably the most successful interspecies partnership in Earth's history. Second most, maybe. The cats have an argument. Professor Thexlar slowly regained their normal silver coloration. I think, they said carefully, we need to add an entire section to this curriculum. Human domestication patterns clearly represent a significant gap in our understanding of interspecies dynamics. Does this mean we're getting extra credit? Santiago asked hopefully. It means, Thexlar replied, that I'm going to need you both to present guest lectures with extensive documentation and possibly psychological evaluations. As the class dissolved into animated discussion, Eliana leaned toward Santiago. We're never going to be normal here, are we? Santiago grinned, pulling up a photo of his German shepherd, Max, sleeping upside down on a couch with all 4 legs in the air. Normal is overrated. Besides, wait until they find out about emotional support peacocks. Eliana groaned. The galaxy, she reflected, was nowhere near ready for humanity. But then again, the Shadow Wolves hadn't been ready for humans either, and that had worked out pretty well for everyone involved.